YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the newly released, or the recent P-Bandai Exclusive, or P-Bandai Exclusive RE100 Shokew. Now, despite how the English name, which is spelled as S-H-O-K-E-W, the way how the Japanese anime pronounces it, and the Korean way how we pronounce it is Shokew. So, just keep that in mind. Alright, so this is actually the first time we're actually seeing a recent kit of a Zanscare Empire mobile suit out there. Because up to this point, all we had was the very, very old HG kits, which were pretty much, the proportions were off, the colors were off. So, yeah, we didn't really have a recent kit of the Zanscare Empire. The only thing we had from Victory were pretty much only the Victor Gundams and the Gun Easy kits. But now we have our first one, and this has turned out very great. For those who don't really remember this mobile suit, I can understand that, because this was only seen in the first few episodes of Victory Gundam and later was not really seen, because this one is actually, the Shaco is actually like a test type mobile suit that would later be turned into the Rig Shaco, which is the more mass production type. Alright, so let's see what we got. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the mobile suit Shaco himself. And then hand-wise, we get the multi-purpose hands. The hands are the ones where you have to, where you swap fingers for using, depending on which weapon you want to use. So that, and then the thumbs are as a ball joint. Other than that, we get some basic stuff actually right over here. So number one, let's go over the stickers. So number one, we do actually get a decal sticker sheet. We get all these markings, no numbers, and yeah, pretty much all these markings that I'm not too crazy about. And then sticker-wise, there's not many stickers. There's only 3. One is actually goes on to the weapon, the green one. These two red stickers are actually for the horns, but once again, these are one of those stickers where you need to fold them and wrap around the piece. So I decided not to use that. So I decided to use a red metallic on the marker and color them. So I'll show that later. And let's see what we got. So for basic weaponry, it's really basic. So number one, we get a beam machine gun. As far as I know, this is supposed to be a beam machine gun, which currently is a very basic design with a moving front handle as well. And then you can also pull out this section to reveal the scope as well. So yeah, definitely has a more realistic look into it. And then here we have a action-based connector, which you will be using. I'm pretty sure you'll be using it. And here's the trigger finger for the right hand for the machine gun. The only thing I would say, the downside would be that there's no actual peg or hole system here, so attaching the gun onto the hand is going to be a little bit tricky. And even though you do get it on the hand, while it's not too shaky, but sometimes the hand part can fall off. So yeah. And then here we have 2 beam saber effect parts and the hilts. The hilts are kind of on the long side, but still, yeah, there's something I need to mention about the beam saber hilt, so I'll just leave one for now and get rid of the rest. And then, being a Shaco, everybody should know that these mobile suits actually have like a beam propeller, which is called the beam rotor, which actually works as a weapon, shield, and a flying ability, like a helicopter. So number one, here is the main shield part that goes onto the arm. So pretty simple looking, and similar like the F91 shields, you have to take it apart and then attach the effect part right over here. And here we have the spinning beam rotor effect part, and this looks absolutely beautiful. You can see the gloss, like the effect part going on there. You can see the design. It's not just a flat piece. You can see that they put all these molds in, and then yeah, it's not flat. You can see all those engravings as well. So this looks actually very, very good. Now on camera it doesn't really see that way, but if you look at it in person, I actually got a little bit dizzy while staring at this, so just be careful. Alright, so that's pretty much it, what you get for the kit itself. So let's see what we get on for articulation. So obviously the design is very obscure, which is pretty much a common thing for Zanscare Empire molds. So it's pretty much everything kind of has this buggish look onto them as well. And actually, there's one more piece I haven't really talked about. There's this black piece, which actually goes onto the head/eyes. So, for those who don't know, the Zanscare Empire MS, usually they would have their eyes like kind of closed and black. And then they can actually open their eyes and revealing like red eyes like these. So, currently I just decided to go with the red eyes because I think the red eyes looks much more better. And those black lines, I did some panel lining on them to give it a more lively look onto it. So yeah, I'll show you guys the closed up black eye versions later on the demonstration. So let's see what we got. So for those who aren't really still sure about the size, here is the RE100 Gun Easy Definitely, this is one of the best Reborns 100 kits out there, so please do try it out. And you can see the height is pretty much almost the same. Maybe the Shaco is slightly taller because of how the bulk and the antennas are on top of it. So yeah, so you can pretty much expect the same size as the Gun Easy. Alright, so let's see what we got for the head. So I should also mention that this kit does not use any Reborns 100 polycaps. There were no polycaps in this kit. So for those who are wondering why they're not using polycaps, is that polycaps are actually, you know, they're those rubbery materials in Gunpla, and those don't really last forever. In the long run, they're going to rip and everything's going to get loose. So which is why Bandai is always like trying to make kits that doesn't use any of those polycaps. So this is also one of them. So here we have the head. So you can see on the head, all those red parts you see are all color separated pieces. And on the antennas, those red sections that you see are the ones I colored. So you have to use stickers for them. And yeah, I decided to skip on the stickers and color them myself. So the head, definitely looking, I really love the look. It definitely has like a bee/wasp look into it. And then because of those horns, it also kind of gives out a semi-Gundam look as well. So the head can go down that much, up that much, and then 360 twist, I'm gonna say no, because you can see the chin and the back head is actually colliding with the collars right over here. And then let's see, the body movement is actually pretty well done. Actually, you have a nice ab crunch going on here, and then 360 twist. I haven't really tested this myself, but it can actually go 360 kind of, but for some reason something's colliding when I'm trying to go actually 360. So yeah, do be careful. And the way how they connect it is a peg, so you get the idea. Alright, and then the for the arms itself, the shoulders, we have your typical forward and backward movement. Of course, in the way how you build it, they're supposed to be like, you can kind of pull off a little bit more to give it more range of the movement as well. Of course, not using any polycaps or anything, this might feel a little bit stiff, so do be careful when you're doing it. But yeah, you can actually extend the shoulders out and in as well. And the arms typically have your 360 twist, I believe. Wait, give me a moment. So yeah, you are able to go 360 on the arms as well. Of course, I think I may have done something wrong, but still 360 is technically possible. 360 twist on the lower arm is also possible, and we have a nice decent bend going on the arm as well. And the arms, I'm gonna say, can go 90 degrees and not more than that, as far as I can tell. And as you may have noticed, the shoulders look different on each other. One, we have like a generator looking thing, and then on this side is my favorite part. So this is actually a hidden weapon right over here. You can open this section up, flip this open, reveal this black piece, open it up, and this is a beam cannon / beam rifle type weapon. Of course, according to the wiki, this weapon is actually has the same technology as the VSBRs on the F91. So I'm not sure how powerful these ones are, but still, knowing that they are the same technology is definitely fun. Is a fun factor. And you can just pretty much fold it back in and store it in. And I am a big fan of these type of weapons where you can store it in like this, or like built-in weapons. Alright, so that's pretty much it, and let's look at the back. Now the back, yes, despite having, while most Zanscare Empire mobile suits usually on Earth or on gravity areas, they would usually fly around using their beam rotors, they also do have thrusters on their backpack as well. So this one is also technically a thruster backpack, and if you look at the arms, only on the left arm we can attach the beam rotor part, so keep that in mind as well. And on the legs, so the sides, we have these parts for some reason on the inside. Of course, this is not the first time seeing such a design. I believe there are some other mobile suits out there, or kits out there, that do have something like this. And if you look at the side of the legs or sides, we have these parts. These are technically the beam sabers where you that you store into the legs, but these are not the actual beam sabers you would use to attach it. These are like the folded up versions. And yeah, you can see there's a hole here, and there's technically a peg inside there. So this only gives you the illusion of where the beam sabers are stored in. So technically, if you're going to use the beam sabers, you have to take this one out to give out that illusion. Okay, and then let's look at the leg articulation. So there's no, obviously, well, I'm not sure if you consider this as a front skirt, but still, there's no side skirt or back skirt as well. So we're pretty free. Actually, you can go more than 90 degrees up front, and then we can go about 90 degrees or a little bit more to the back, and then we can go, well, not so much 90 degrees, but almost 90 degrees to the side. And then we do technically have a side swivel, of course being a pretty stiff one, so yeah. because no polycaps. And I think I may have loosened up a little bit, but still, that's no big deal. And then the bend of the feet, legs are pretty good. It's pretty much typical bend these days. And now the feet. The feet are the most weird part of this kit. So okay, the feet, you can see it's like it's totally connected. There's no actual separate part, and we have this black piece right over here that reveals we can do this for some reason. And we have the feet right over here, and then there's a part in this back section that is actually connected as a ball joint. On the back of this section right over here, which allows us to move the back of the feet a little bit to side to give it a little bit a pivot joint. But this doesn't really make any sense. So the feet, they don't really work too much as well. So there's no toe bend. This is not. I don't consider this to be a toe bend. You can see there's no ball joint on the middle. This is like one piece, a connected point right over here. So the feet are definitely very one of those odd designs as well. So yeah. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the kit. So you can see it's an obscure design, definitely have some weird and interesting aspects going on here. So I'll be right back with the demonstrations of the equipment. Okay, I'm back. Here we have obviously the beam rotor effect part on the left arm, and then on the right arm I gave it the machine gun, and then on the head I gave it the black eyes. And I'm going to show you guys how the swapping process actually works, and it's pretty simple than you think, so you don't need to really worry about that much. And then for those of you who want to connect to the action base, you actually need to get the part and then clip it on to the bottom section right over there, and then you can clip it. Once you have it on, it won't fall off that easily, and you can just plug it into the action base right over here. So before I go over the head part, yeah, the beam rotor effect part works very well. Of course, yeah, because it's a very big piece, it's really hard to like really navigate with the effect part on. So yeah, just make sure that you don't really need to be like 90 degrees vertical on top, because even in the anime they don't really show it that way. They fly like with this thing like in various ways, so no need to worry about that as well. So let's see how you work on the eye. So obviously we have the closed off black eyes as well. Now I believe if you want to make it more realistic or to more close to the anime, there is actually a small line you see on the black eyes. You would have to color those lines in red. So because obviously the mobs can open its eyes and they reveal red eyes as well. So what you do is basically take off the top section of the head, and be careful with those horns. And you can see you took out the top section of the head, and that's the inside, which I believe for those who can do that, I think you can like modify that into a Gundam head if possible. And then you take off the black section right away. You just do that, and then plug the red eyes back in. What I really like the way how they did with the red eyes, because they really gave it that like very bug insect eyes look into that as well. And then once you're done, you just need to reattach the top section to the head, and there you go. You have the red eyes now. So very simple process, no need to worry about anything breaking parts. And yeah, I guess I should take off the scope as well. So yeah, in this pose you're pretty much going to be doing a lot of floating pose with this kit, so I don't think you'll be using the feet that much. But of course, as you saw in the previous part, the kit can stand on its own with those weird feet, so it's not really that bad. Alright, so I think there's only one pose left to do, so I'll be right back. Okay, here's the last part. Gave basically a beam saber pose. So currently, yeah, the beam sabers have worked pretty much well, and thanks to the beam sabers being on the long side, and then the actual beam sabers are actually, the handle is two parts, so you don't really need to take off the hand and then reattach the hand while having the beam saber on the fingers. You can just plug the top section up and then plug the second part on the lower section, and you're good to go. So that's one good aspect of having such beam sabers. Now, as much as I love the beam rotor effect part, it is really hard to navigate around the kit, because it's so big that actually the fin and the head is actually colliding with the beam effect part as well. So yeah, you're gonna have to work a little bit. You have to use your imagination, and hopefully not to touch the beam rotor effect part, because I actually, while taking poses or doing pictures, I had a lot of cases where this actually did collide with the beam rotor effect part. And finally, regarding the legs, you do have the hinge system where both pieces are actually connected together, so you can pretty much reposition the legs anywhere you want as well. So, and that's pretty much it for the review for the P-Bandai Exclusive Reborn 100 Shokew. So being the first recent kit of the Zanscare Empire MS, I would definitely recommend it. And hopefully this actually leads to a lot more Zanscare Empire MS kits, hopefully in Reborns 100, because like the F91, like in future generation kids, mobile suits, they did get smaller, so I think Reborns 100 is definitely a good scale for them as well. I mean, Reborns 100 would be a good quality for them, and also scale-wise, then them being usually 1 to 100 scale, that would be perfect for me, in a personal opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching the review. This was the review of the P-Bandai Exclusive Reborns 100 Shaco. If you guys got any questions or requests, you can comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!